Hello, Leo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of September 27th through October 4th. And during that time, we'll have a few different moon phases. We'll have the waxing crescent, then we have the first quarter that comes in on the 30th, and then into the waxing gibbous. So both of those waxing phases are really good for just a deeper understanding and buckling down and working on those new things that we've just started. It's kind of the energy of focus and being able to make adjustments, that sort of thing. And then the first quarter is a little bit of a disruption. It can kind of feel kind of like that full moon energy. It's when you feel a little bit impulsive, impatient. Your mind might be active, maybe hard to settle down and focus. For some of you, you might use that energy in a positive way. It's just a kind of a heightened sense of just energy. So pay attention to those moon energies as we move through the week and use them accordingly. We what was I going to say? I don't know. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Leo. So, as usual, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading, Leo, is your hard work is paying off. Well, isn't that lovely for you? I like that. As I'm shuffling, I would like to say that my weekly reminder this week is that you keep a spiritual journal. Sometimes we don't recognize the patterns that are evolving in our life when it comes to our spiritual experiences. So keeping track of those things that you learn, and this could be anything from dreams, synchronicities, different spiritual experiences that you're having, but just keeping track of those things can help you look back later on emerging patterns, and that can be very helpful. And a really good tool as you're evolving spiritually. I know for me, I'll look back and think, oh, I remember when I started doing this thing in this particular way, and has that worked out for me or not? Uh, I remember, oh, I was going to do this thing and I forgot to do that thing, and so let me go back and do that now. But just pay attention to those, and it's just good to have a spiritual journal so that you can remember those things. All right, without further ado, let's get into this reading, Leo, September 27th through October 4th. Your hard work is paying off. Your overall present energy right now is the Ace of Pentacles. And if your hard work is paying off, it looks like it is paying off in a financial way. This is, typically new financial opportunities. So maybe you've got a new job offer at work. You've got something with maybe a side gig that's becoming a little more lucrative, but it looks like you've had your head down, working hard, and it's definitely paying off. So that's awesome. Your current situation is that you're also, while things are paying off, you're also kind of looking back and doing that reflection that we all need to do at times. It's like, where have I been? What is the path that I've been on in the past? What's working? What's not working? Kind of that evaluation change. So you're doing a little bit of that this week. Also, at the root of your situation is that, yeah, you're thinking about long-term wealth and security here with the 10 of Pentacles. And that's a good thing to be rooted in, is really, what is your big long-term picture in life? That, yeah, you're working every day. Are you investing a little bit? Are you putting away for the future? And if that's the thing you need to change, if you're looking back on that right now, if you're looking back, okay, I'm looking back on my financial life, and in what ways can I make adjustments to make this more of a reality? Where can I cut those corners? Where can I be more of a saver than a spender? So definitely something that's on your mind this week. What is just behind you is the Queen of Cups. So some emotional stability. Looks like you're in good shape there. As you make these kind of decisions, you're doing it from a very emotionally stable place when it comes to um, the things that you do and how you're moving forward. You're just very emotionally balanced, which is awesome. What is on your mind this week is the Lover. So it might be that you are in a relationship and you're trying to plan financially for things moving forward. Maybe you meet someone and you have conversations about how you would both want to move forward. Maybe you are in a relationship and you're just kind of having a meeting of the minds together on kind of reevaluating, where are you and where do you want to move forward? And how can you do those things together? How can you reach those goals together? So, depending on where you are in your relationship status, those are all things that could happen to you. And that's kind of on your mind this week. What is just ahead of you is the High Priestess. So, yeah, you might want to look around the universe and see that there are dreams that you're having, there are synchronistic things happening. that's kind of helping you with all of these messages, and it's helping you look back, and it's also helping you kind of carve the way out for your future. As you're having this look back time, you may be encountering things that are making you think, oh, should I focus on this thing? But the universe is there kind of guiding you, right? And that's definitely what the high priestess comes out for, is to kind of show you the truth and kind of push you and guide you in the right direction. So pay attention to those things. In your advice position is the world card. So the world is your oyster. And I mean, this card just tells me that you need to be dreaming big, dream big. I mean, your hard work is already paying off. Why are you going to limit yourself and only, dreams in a small way? Go ahead and dream big. Think about those things that are going to be generational. Can you build that kind of generational wealth? I'm sure you can. You're a Leo. Leos are very confident, can do anything they set out to do. So if that's going to be your focus, dream big is definitely your advice. What is beyond your control is the Ace of Cups. So beyond your control is that you're a good, loving person, and that you're able to express that to people, that you have an open heart. People know this. I feel like you're the kind of person that would give someone the shirt off your back if you need it. So that's something, it's just beyond your control that you're like that, and that's really awesome for this week too, as you're thinking about these things. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid? Well, I hope this is your secret desire, because this is the card of inspiration. These are like, to me, this is like the angel to the devil card in the deck. This is the angel that tells you to balance things, to balance out your emotion and your real world, and to make sure that you're living up to spiritual standards that you've set for yourself. Make sure that you're living in a way that makes your heart open and outpouring, and that you can ask for the world, that you can ask for those big dreams, for those things to come true. So I love this, and I really hope that that is your secret desire. I hope you're not trying to avoid that good balance that temperance card brings, because it's such a beautiful card and such a beautiful symbolism for how we should all be living our life. Is definitely just kind of, emotional things happen. You need to consider those things, look at the bigger picture, make sure that you're emotional. Sometimes our emotional reactions are, our initial reaction is not really where we should be. And sometimes, I mean, I've had that where I feel like, oh, I had this right off the bat, an emotional reaction. Then I have to step back and go, okay, that's maybe what the devil wanted me to react. That's how the devil wanted me to react. I need to step back and think, how is it that God wants me to react to something? So, you have to take a breath and take a little step back. But that temperance card is kind of how you do that. It's like you have that emotional thing that happens, and you have a reaction. And sometimes you just need to step back and look at the bigger picture and say, okay, that maybe that's not, maybe my initial reaction was not really the correct thing, and you get the bigger understanding, right? All right, what is in your outcome this week, Leo? Is the Tower card. So it looks like some sort of maybe disruption is what you're heading towards. But I think even if it happens, it looks to be very minor, and it looks to be like something you can actually handle, because you've just done all the other things that you need to do. So whatever this disruption is, I don't see it as anything very major. It might be just a disruption in your way of thinking, because you are thinking some pretty big thoughts this week. So maybe you meet someone and it's a little bit of a disruption. So that kind of disruption, I don't see it as life altering here. What is being hidden from you this week is the Emperor card. So, this is a card of leadership. This is, having a clear vision. This is something, someone who's building something. So if this is hidden from you this week, these are the attributes that you probably need to be seeking out and looking for. And maybe if you're trying to figure out, how do you increase your generational wealth? What do you do with the new opportunity that comes in? And so you're kind of in that thinking about it phase, where I wouldn't be surprised to see the Emperor make a stronger appearance next week in your reading, as you kind of move towards the decision to be just very responsible, do things in a systematic way, follow the rules. I feel like this week you're kind of thinking about things, but maybe not a whole lot of action. So let's see what the Soul Oracle deck says for Leo. Let's get a final word here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final word for Leo. Live life to the fullest. I swear I shuffled this deck. I just had that card last time. We'll try again. So I just had that card come out in the last reading also. Sometimes cards do that though. They want to make an appearance several times in different readings and all in the same week. So another card for you is accept disappointments gracefully. So if this is some sort of disappointment here, maybe that is what your tower moment is. Again, I don't see it as something that's life altering or anything this week, but just something that's almost like a minor annoyance. So, all right, let's get a self care wisdom card and see what you need to do in the way of self care this week. Self care for Leo, and the card that comes up for you is move. A long walk is good for the soul. Get outside and allow Mother Nature to lift your spirits. So maybe as you're doing these thoughts as you're looking back and whatever, maybe it's a good time to go take a walk, take a hike somewhere, get out in nature if you can. I know it's beautiful in places this time of year with the leaves. So maybe get out there, take a walk, and just, again, look for the synchronicities as you're moving forward. And watch out for this disruption and whatever it might be. Again, it might just be something that's a little disappointing. I don't feel that it's something life altering or big. So, Leo, thank you so much for being here. I hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in your week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below, and let me know what kind of things you're looking back on and what decisions you're looking as you're moving forward. And if you had a tower, any sort of disruption this week, I would be very curious to know that. Also, if you like my reading style, of course, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps my channel, but more importantly, it'll help you find me next week, where you can come back and we'll see what this energy does and see where it takes us next week in your story. So thanks so much, Leo, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.